Erasmus Plus online linguistic support, also known as OLS, offers Erasmus Plus participants the opportunity to assess their skills in the foreign language when they work, study or volunteer abroad. Based on the results of the language assessment, selected participants can follow an online language course to improve their language competences. To find out more about the aim and of course the structure of the OLS, I'm here today with Cedrick. He's a professor of computational linguistics and he's the director of the Centre of Natural Language Processing at the UCL, which is of course the Université Catholique de Louvain. Thank you very much for speaking to me today. I just want to start by asking you exactly what the aim of the OLS language assessment is.
The aim of the language assessment is to assess language proficiency using the same methodology for all languages. So we are attentive to testing linguistic competence according to the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, the CEFR. The assessment is rigorously structured according to the indicators of the CEFR.
But I understand the OLS language assessment is adaptive, no? What does that actually mean in practice?
Well, this means that it is based on a computer-based adaptive test which adjusts to the participant's level of ability. In other words, the assessment automatically adjusts itself in difficulty according to the number of right or wrong answers. This method is much more efficient compared to standard linear testing as emphasized in statistical and linguistic studies.
I see. And how then is the language assessment actually structured?
The language assessment currently evaluates receptive skills with multiple choice and gap-filling questions. It is structured around 5 modules: grammar, vocabulary, key communicative phrases, listening and reading comprehension. Skills are tested through personal, professional, educational topics with relevant situations.
And what about productive skills?
Well, in this type of automated online assessment, it is of course difficult to determine with complete accuracy a person's written and oral skills. And this is why the testing of writing and speaking production, what we call productive skills, will soon be integrated in the language assessment. Such production testing will help to define the participant's level of skill with increased accuracy, particularly among those learners who have more advanced level.
And Cedrick, can you tell me what guidelines were used to design the language assessment?
The OLS language assessment is based on 5 widely used principles in the creation of language assessment tests. Firstly, clarity is key. Instructions to take the assessment are concise and clear, whilst avoiding any possible ambiguity. Secondly, it is about relevance. All questions have been designed to target and test a specific skill. Thirdly, precision is also a key guideline. This relates to the degree of correspondence in terms of results obtained if the same participant were to take the assessment twice in a row. And fourthly, accuracy is a must. This refers to the exactness of the assessment, to precisely evaluate the participant's language skills according to the levels of the CEFR scale from A1 to C2. And finally, duration matters. The assessment typically takes between 40 and 60 minutes to complete. However, there is no time limit, and therefore participants are able to perform the assessment comfortably without incurring concentration difficulties.
And how exactly can you guarantee the quality and of course the accuracy of this language assessment?
Language assessments are being developed by educationalists and linguists following the methodology and standards promoted by the Association of Language Testers in Europe, ALTI. The ALTI Code of Practice and their minimum standards are widely recognized. They cover different stages of test development cycle, from test construction, administration and logistics, marking and grading, text analysis, and communication with stakeholders. So by applying this principle, the Consortium ensures the quality and fairness of the entire examination process, from the initial test development to the final presentation of results. Again, as I mentioned, the language assessment is rigorously in line with the indicators of the CEFR. Over the years, experts familiar with the CEFR have created the questions for the language assessment. Their work has been subject to validation by other experts, and the questions have been tested internally, both by native speakers and university students whose feedback is invaluable. And all this before the assessment is ever made available online. Today, the assessment is regularly updated with additional questions. And 1.5 million people had taken the language assessment before it was included on the OLS. This experience has enabled the Consortium to conceive the assessment with the highest standards.
I see. Well, now we're definitely experts ourselves on the assessment side of things. A little bit later we will be talking to you about the pedagogical philosophy behind OLS language courses. But for the moment, thank you very much, and thank you very much for watching.